Fraser, the big blonde boy, the British heavyweight. Joe Bugner faces Chuck Wepner, the 16-stone American from Bayonne, New Jersey. Bugner 15 stone 5, conceding 9 pounds to this giant American, who has a record of cutting extremely easily. In fact, he says that he's had something like 60 stitches putting cuts in his face since he turned professional. And certainly at least 4 of his fights, in which he's been beaten inside the distance, have been lost because of facial injury. Joe Bugner back in the ring after a 4-month rest, although it wasn't much of a rest because he went to the United States, and there he sparred with Cassius Clay and Joe Frazier, the current heavyweight champion of the world, with Sonny Liston, the former heavyweight champion, and Jimmy Ellis, another former champion. So Bugner's been picking up some experience in the States against the greats of world heavyweight boxing of today, and we're watching tonight to see how much improved he may or may not be after that trip. Wepner, 29 years old, taller even than the very tall Bugner. Bugner's 6'3½", and Wepner is 6'5". Bugner saw this man fight in Jersey City in June, Wepner's last fight against Sonny Liston, the former heavyweight champion of the world. And Wepner was beaten in the 9th round, and when he was stopped, he had 6 cuts on his face. His left eye was shut, and both eyes had cuts over them, and the doctor refused to let Wepner come out for the 10th. And Bugner very uncharacteristically so early in the fight, opening up against this big man. Bugner tends to feel his way into a fight rather slowly. Bugner's putting some pretty heavy stuff through to the face of Wepner. And his left eye already, the American's left eye, is beginning to look rather marked. And that's a good start by Bugner there against Wepner. A really confident and aggressive start by Joe Bugner, quite unlike some of his recent fights. He's been criticized quite a lot in the last few months, most of this year in fact, for the way he's won fights, not being aggressive enough. But he's certainly looking as though he's making amends tonight. A really good brisk start by Bugner in this fight against Chuck Wepner from New Jersey. So with Bugner the winner of the first round quite clearly, and already having marked Wepner's face, particularly down the left side, we move to the second round of the scheduled 10-rounder, which is only the second 10-rounder that Bugner's been asked to fight. His first was against Brian London a few months ago. Well, you can detect a new confidence about Bugner. Well, the sparring with Cassius Clay and Joe Frazier has given him a little bit of confidence for himself, I don't know, but he looks to me to be altogether more confident than he has been in recent fights. Wepner has been in with George Foreman, the latest heavyweight hope in America, and he's been in with Buster Mathis, a former hope, and was stopped in 3 rounds by both of them, again on cuts. So we can do a little bit of comparison of Joe Bugner with both Foreman and Mathis. Bugner working him over both to head and to body. Of course, what this crowd at Wembley, what we'd all like to see, is a really dramatic KO job here by Bugner, which would do the game of boxing in this country a world of good. Bugner sparred 4 rounds with Cassius Clay in Gil Clancy's gym on West 28th Street, New York, in June this year. And after the 4 rounds, Clay was quoted as saying that Bugner needs 2 more years and 2 hard fights, and then you might have the white heavyweight hope of the world. So much of British boxing now depends on this young man, 20-year-old Bugner. And certainly the promotional hopes of Harry Levine, who's putting on tonight's show, also rest very much on Joe Bugner, because Levine wants Bugner to go right to the top and has plans to put him in with Henry Cooper for the British heavyweight title. He hopes in 1971, if not then in 72, if Henry's still around, that is. Well, Wepner so far has not really shown much other than a certain amount of ability to take punishment. He hasn't handed out very much. He works as a beer salesman in New Jersey. And from the look of his girth, I would say that he tries his own product occasionally. And now there's a cut, and it's over the American's right eye. Now this is what everyone feared. This man cut so easily and so often. He's cut again now, and his right eyebrow is split open, and it looks pretty bad to me. Round 3, and this is the round in which George Foreman beat him on a cut, and Buster Mathis beat him on a cut, and it could be that Joe Bugner's going to do the same thing. And Wepner's shaking his head, and he knows that he's got the same old trouble once again. Just over 30 seconds of this round remaining. We'll see whether Wepner's going to make it. It looks pretty bad to me, and it must seem the same way to referee Harry Gibbs. 30 seconds to go now. Well, Wepner survived through to the end of that 3rd round. I didn't think he was going to at one time. And Al Braverman, his manager, gets to work, and that must be a right old routine job, I should think, for manager Braverman. He's well used to doing that job on the face of Chuck Wepner. And Harry Gibbs will be coming across in a moment to inspect that eye. Americans are usually pretty good at this sort of repair work. Here's Gibbs now to look. Looked a really bad cut to me. Just halfway through the interval. Gibbs says, come on, let me have a closer look. And I think Harry Gibbs is going to stop it, and the manager's protesting. Al Braverman's protesting to Harry Gibbs. He's obviously saying, come on, he's had this before. But Gibbs is the boss in the ring, and Gibbs announces the winner, and the winner is Joe Bugner in the same round that George Foreman won and Buster Mathis won over this man. So that's not a bad job by Joe Bugner.